Welcome back, guys. Now, in neurophysiology, we are actually going to a very, very critical higher mental function. What is that, sir? The need of the hour. How much good you are in your memory, how effective you are in learning defines you as a human being. Memory is very critical not only to solve MCQs, every single aspect of your day to day life critically depends upon learning and memory, especially for doctors. Right. Do you have good memory power? Let me check you. Few questions to you. Are you guys ready? Yes. Now look into this first picture. What is this? The symbol of love. Obviously, Taj Mahal. That means humans have memory for places. Places. Taj Mahal. We have a memory. Symbol of love. Let me show you one other symbol of love for the entire nation. Who is he? Yes, obviously he is Mahendra Singh Dhoni, the symbol of love for the nation. Remember, we also have memory for person, their names. We remember? Yes. And not only places and persons, we also have memory for events. We all remember our birthday, our beloved one's birthday, our friend's birthday. Every person birthday, if it is significant, we will remember. So remembering an important event, for example, birthday is an event. We remember that. It's an event in someone's life. For example, my birthday is May 20. May 20 is my birthday. I always remember that. Event, memory. And next, all these important things, you have to consciously be ready. Suppose someone is asking your birthday, you have to immediately think it comes into your conscious memory and you have to say, if you ask me, yes, sir, May 20, like that, consciously you have to be aware. On the other hand, this classical memory type happens subconsciously. We all have did this, bike or car, whatever for that matter. We talk to our friends, but our hand is actually moving the gears. That means certain memory happens subconscious. For example, changing gears while driving the car. These are simple examples. We will see the technical details later. What is the take home message? We have memory for places, we have memory for person, we have memory for events, and we also have certain memories that happens subconsciously. Without us knowing, we will be doing this. So subconscious memory. So what is the prime topic of our interest now? A higher mental function, learning and memory. This learning and memory is a function of hemisphere. So as a part of evolution, we significantly have growth in our brain. Significantly, it evolved where exactly? At the level of cerebral hemispheres. That means we have two important hemispheres devoted for certain functions. Learning and memory is for one important hemisphere. Which important hemisphere is that, sir? We have an important hemisphere concept, left hemisphere, right hemisphere. Left hemisphere is dominant in certain things. Right hemisphere is dominant in certain things. That is the topic of interest. First, we will see left hemisphere. What are the important aspects? It has got a old name. We call that old name, remember, dominant hemisphere. It was previously called as dominant hemisphere. Now it is no longer called dominant hemisphere. Why? Because each hemisphere is dominant on its own. It's not like one is dominant, other is non-dominant, not like that. Previously, we call this as dominant hemisphere. Why? What is the reason, sir? Left hemisphere is the dominant hemisphere in 96% of right-handed individuals. Right-handed individuals, left hemisphere. For me, right? I'm a right-handed individual now. For 96% of right-handed individuals, left is dominant. Not only that, even in 70% of left-handed. That means what? In 96% right-handed and 70% of left-handed, which is the dominant hemisphere? Left hemisphere. What is the new name, sir? The new name we call this as categorical hemisphere. What is the meaning of categorical? Categorical functions, three important functions, guys. The first one is obviously language is a left hemisphere function. Next, speech. Remember, left hemisphere function. And the topic of our interest. What is this topic, sir? Learning and memory. These are critical functions of left hemisphere. That means the areas, the neurons, the functional synchrony, the connections are more in the left hemisphere for these important functions. The three major functions of left hemisphere are language, speech, learning and memory. What type of thinking we will have if you have a left brain dominant individual or left hemisphere dominant individual? You will keep on asking when, why, what, why is this happening? Why am I doing this? What is the purpose for me? Why am I watching this lecture? What is the need? What is the purpose I will achieve? That means asking questions. What type of thinking is this? Logical thinking. So all the logic based thinking, left hemisphere. Logical thinking, asking lot of questions, that is left hemisphere. Now, they will definitely ask you if the left hemisphere is having a lesion, how the patient will present to you with its function will be affected. First and foremost, speech will be affected. So automatically what will happen? They will have aphasias. Very important, there are a lot of aphasias. In speech, we will discuss. Remember, aphasias. Next, mathematical skills will be affected. Naturally, many people are poor in maths. Remember, what is this finding? This is dyscalculia. What is this finding? Dyscalculia. So, left hemisphere lesion, the patient will present to you with aphasias and dyscalculias. So, speech will be affected, mathematical skills will be affected. So, left previously called dominant hemisphere, now the new name is categorical hemisphere. Now, look here guys, right hemisphere. Old name it was previously called non-dominant hemisphere because previously left was considered dominant, right was considered non-dominant. It is no longer. We have a new name. We call this as, remember guys, this is most important, representational hemisphere. What is the meaning of representation, sir? I'm sitting in this room. There is a computer in front of me. There are lights. There is a wall. There is a chair. That means in this entire space, what is my representation? What is there in front of me? What is there behind me? What is above me in this room? This is called as 3D visualization. What is that? 3D visualization. We call this as, remember, visuospatial representation. This concept is called as visuospatial representation. What is your representation in this space? Similarly, you might be sitting in your room. There are a lot of things surrounding you. We have the awareness of the representation. Yes, I am here. The other person is there. This 3D visualization, this visuospatial representation, we call representational hemisphere, which is our right hemisphere. Other than that, very important, we have left hemisphere, logic-based thinking. Right hemisphere, if you ask some person, if you ask them, how you know I did this? They will say, my intuition said. That means they are very, very, very strong in their intuitions. Gut feelings, they will say, I have a gut feeling. I have an intuition that this is going to happen. Many of our friends we saw in day-to-day life. That is called intuition-based thinking. What is this thinking? Intuition-based thinking. Right hemisphere is intuition-based thinking. Left hemisphere is logic-based thinking. That's all. Other than that, we all have many friends who are right hemisphere dominant. That means they are so creative, guys. They do lot of things. See, very, very, very simple only. An apple, you see as apple, I see as apple. But creative people, they take a knife and create some small images in that. Even though we are seeing the same apple, their mind thinks different. Yes, I can do something with this apple. I will eat, but they will do some creative jobs with the help of a small knife. So this is creativity. This creativity is best at right hemisphere. And so many friends, they have skills on music, They play instrument, musical instrument, they sing very nice. Musical ability, remember. What is this, sir? Music. Musical ability. Right hemisphere dominant individuals are good in music. Creativity, music, representation, intuition based thinking. These are all right hemisphere functions. Now, how the lesion they will present to you with? A pen. Even on closing my eyes, touching and feeling, I can say this is a pen. But right hemisphere lesion, you ask them to close their eyes. You give a keychain. Even on feeling, they will not be able to say this is a keychain. What is this called as, sir? A stereognosis. Right hemisphere lesion. Ability to identify an object on closing eyes will be missing in them. Even though it is a keychain, on closing their eyes, just touching and feeling, they will not say this as a keychain. What is this? A stereognosis. Next important one. Right hemisphere lesion. Agnosias. Remember guys, agnosias. Seeing their face, they will not be able to say who is this person. Their vision is normal, but they will not be able to identify who is this person on seeing their face. Agnosias. Astereognosis, agnosias, and finally, it was asked many times before, a very unique finding you see. They will not have awareness of the one half of their body existing. Remember, they just don't know one half of their body is existing. That is why they will comb their hair only on the one side. They will shave only on one side. If you ask them to draw a clock, they will draw only from 12 to 6. The remaining numbers they will not put. That means only one half of their body is existing. They totally neglect the other. What is this called? One half in their body, hemifacial, is totally neglected. Hemifacial neglect, right hemisphere lesion. Hemifacial neglect. So what all we have seen? Left is categorical hemisphere, logic based thinking, language and memory. Right, representational hemisphere, intuition based thinking. Most importantly, right hemisphere is representation, representational hemisphere. Left is categorical, right is representational. Right guys, now let's start the most important function of the left hemisphere, that is learning and memory. Now look into this cute kid. What it is doing? It is trying to learn something. What is the meaning of learning, sir? Look very carefully guys. Learning simply means acquiring information. These days, the availability of information is so much, so voluminous. There are a lot of sources to acquire information. For example, books. For example, your mobile phone, what you are doing, your tab, what you are doing. Learning means we are all learning, acquiring information. Acquiring. On the other hand, even though you are learning now, what is my primary objective? This learning have to be converted into a memory card. Memory, yes. What is this memory, sir? Remember, it is the storage of information. Very simple definition. Learning is acquiring information. Acquiring information. Memory is a storage of that information. Whenever you need, you have to go back, take from that storage and use it. That is memory. Learning is acquiring, memory is storage. Now, very important. We have so much of memories inside our brain. Exclusive amount of memories right from our kids. At times we remember and recollect those important precious memories. Human beings have collection of memories. What is this collection of memories, sir? Remember, this collection of memory is called as memory engram. What is the meaning of memory engram, sir? It is the total collection of memories. Right from your birth till now, whatever memories. It is the memories that make humans. It is for this collection of memories that makes us humans. It is for this reason, remember, Game of Thrones, what that Night King was trying to do. You erase memories. Humans will be nothing. They will never remember anything at all. Those Night King's soldiers, their memories were erased. That is what he is trying to do. Erase the memories. Human being will be nothing. We are all here because of our memories. This complete collection of memories is memory engram. Now, there are certain important types of memory, guys. First and foremost, we have something called as explicit memory. That means you can express. That means you can express. That means you can declare the answer. That is why we call this as declarative memory. I checked right in the beginning. I have shown you a Taj Mahal. I have shown our beloved Mahendra Singh Dhoni birthday. All these are expressing. If I ask, you will express and tell. So explicit memory is expressive, declarative. It can be there for facts, places, events. Remembering these facts and places we call, remember guys, semantic memory. Semantic memory is a part of explicit. Remembering facts, places. Event. Birthday is an important event. It is an episode event. We call this as, remember guys, episodic memory. So explicit memory, two important subtypes. Semantic memory for facts and places. Episodic memory for events. Brain areas critical. Which important brain areas? The most important brain area is hippo, which is our hippocampus. The second important area, remember guys, medial temporal lobe. Two important areas devoted for explicit memory. Semantic memory, episodic memory. Hippocampus, medial temporal lobe. On the other hand, the second type is obviously called implicit. This implicit we call non-declarative. Non-declarative memory types. So explicit is declarative. Implicit, non-declarative. You can show, for example, changing gears. What is this, sir? Remember, I told you. Changing gears. It happens subconscious. Very important. So implicit is non-declarative. Implicit. For example, changing gears while driving car happens subconsciously. There are certain types of implicit memory. The first one, look very carefully. What is this type, sir? Exclusively from the medical field. We have lot of skills. We have lot of procedures. We have something called as, remember, skills memory. We have something called as procedural memory. Surgeons remembering surgical procedures. Skills, lot of skills we need. Skills memory, procedural memory. A component of implicit memory, the brain part responsible here is basal ganglia. Which important brain area in basal ganglia, sir? Striatum. So skills memory, procedural memory, muscle memory, basal ganglia, striatum. It's a type of implicit. Second, an interesting test. First, I will show you a color. What is this color? Yellow. Now I will ask you, a fruit is yellow in color. It is having a sour taste. We make juice out of it. Even without showing the actual image, I just show you only the color and primed you with this, a fruit having sour taste. Now automatically you can say it is a lemon. So what is this type of memory? This type of memory is called as priming. Another classical example. Just show you a burger in front of you. You will immediately remember either it's from a McD or a KFC. Not only that, you will immediately take your mobile phone and start ordering. These are all examples for priming. Show one thing, you will be primed, you will automatically remember what is coming. Yellow color, and that food is obviously lemon. This is priming type of memory. And the brain part responsible for this is neocortex. So skills, procedures, basal ganglia striatum, priming, neocortex. And next important one, look very carefully. Just ring a bell, the dog will salivate. What is this experiment, sir? Who performed this? Pavlov, classical experiment. We call this as conditioning type memory. What is this memory? Conditioning type memory. Just ring a bell, the dog will salivate. Conditioned response, the brain part responsible are first amygdala, second cerebellum. So for conditioning type memory, implicit. So just ring a bell, the dog is showing the response salivation. So amygdala, cerebellum are responsible. Implicit memory.